Hello guys, hello friends, welcome back to the channel, BetterKM2 here. Sometimes a match starts, the map loads, the countdown begins, everyone is ready. But there are players who can already tell within the first 30 seconds whether this match will be won or lost. Some players just look, some think they know what they're doing, and some start playing the entire battle in their head before firing a single shot. That's exactly what we are going to talk about today. Today I will try to explain the standard wargaming and World of Tanks player experience that I have seen again and again throughout my 13 years of experience. This is not something extreme video. This video is a lesson built from in-game experiences, repeating situations, moments of frustration, and sometimes things that make you want to quit the game. If you think something is missing or something is wrong at any point, please let me know in the comments. Or if there are situations you experience constantly, things that make you say this always happens, tell me about them. I read all the comments, And I want to say this clearly from the start. My videos get tens of thousands of views, but my subscriber count is only around 300. Please consider subscribing. Even YouTube seems confused by the situation. For me, views are not the real success indicator. Subscriber count is. Now, let's get back to the topic. Based on my experience, I'm going to classify players for you today. You can think of this as a kind of World of Tanks survey. By listening to this list and the explanations, you will understand what you do and what type of player you really are. So let's create a scenario. Map is loading, team lists are coming, and the first 30 seconds of the match. Bad players, what are they doing? They just look around and maybe they think the map visuals look normal or nice. The tank looks great and that's all. They are not doing or thinking anything. Normal players, what do? They look at the map and they think about where to go based on their tank class. And good players, they look at the map and decide where to play. They check both their own team and the enemy team. They look at tank types. They think about which tanks can support them. For example, as a light tank, they consider which TDs will play behind them, or they look at the other light tank next to them and they analyze enemy tanks. They think about which enemies can destroy them structurally. They think about which enemies they are effective against. If dangerous opponents exist, they plan an escape route. They try to remember enemy armor layouts and weak spots. So tell me, do you usually do this kind of stuff in the loading screen? Now we are in the first minute of the game. What do bad players do? They just roam around. They rush directly into the enemy and attack, and most of the time they die first. If this tactic has failed many times, they became angry and they switch to the opposite extreme, playing a tank like E100 as if it were a sniper TD at the very back. They drive in sniper mode, they stay in sniper mode. Even though they are not in the correct position, they blame their teammates and annoy them. They are constantly panicked and angry. If they know tanks classes, they might at least go somewhere related to their class. Normal players, if they are not a light tank, they don't go alone. They go to the correct position and wait for the enemy, and they check the map sometimes. Sometimes. Good players, they may go alone, but only to deal early damage. At the start of the match, they try to deal damage where enemies are likely to appear. After that, they move to the correct position. They wait. If they don't have support, they retreat to a position where supporting tanks can help them. During this process, they observe where enemy tanks are. Without leaving their class's proper role, they deal damage to enemies that are easier to target. For example, they don't rush all the way to the back just because they spotted a grill 15. They don't leave safe positions easily. They aim for enemy weak spots and they constantly check the map. So, now we are in the mid game. Bad players don't look at the map as usual, and if they are still alive, they attack to the first enemy they see, they shoot randomly, they don't think about positioning, they don't think about armors or angles, they don't think about teammates, they don't ask themselves, am I blocking the players behind me? They can sit in one place for ages, blocking everyone, or move backward against the flow and stopping an entire flank. They can lock their own team. They stay in and drive in sniper mode as usual. They don't understand team play at all, and they roam alone and contribute nothing. They try to hunt artilleries all the time. Normal players, they try to push or fall back according to the gameplay. Based on positions they know relative to the enemy, they try not to take damage and they check the map. Good players position themselves based on the tanks they expect to face. They already predicted most of this at the start of the match. They angle their armor, and if their flank is collapsing, they leave immediately. They never think, I can save this flank. They try to move with numbers, they relocate to specific positions, they avoid open ground whenever possible, they count enemy shoots, they know reload times, and they know exactly when to peek. They constantly check the map. Okay, at the end of the game, if bad players are still alive and they are winning the game, they focus on killing artilleries. They don't care about damage, they don't care about their team, they don't care about missions. They are just trying to kill arties. They are driving for it, that's all. If the team is losing, they run to the very back, even behind the artilleries, and they are hiding. Normal players, they just try to increase their damage, and usually they deal damage equal to their tank's HP, and the game finishes in that way. Good players, they check the map, they deal damage no matter what tank they are playing. They try to spot the last remaining enemies, and they push for it. Even in a losing match, they do the same. They never hide at the back just because the match is lost. They usually deal up to twice their tank's HP in damage. So these are the three main player types. Of course, there are much more that can be explained, but at the most basic and fastest level, this is what I can tell you. So what would you add? What do bad players do over and over again? What do good players do over and over again? And let me tell you something very important. Between a bad player and a good player, there is only one victory difference in 10 matches. In 10 matches, just one victory, from 45% to 55% win rate. Between a good player and a super unicum, there is also just one victory difference in 10 matches, from 55% to 65%. That means one match you lose in a day because of a mistake, or one match you lose because of your teammates, can decide whether you are considered a bad player, or average player, or good player. That's probably why everyone is angry in World of Tanks, because we don't just carry our own mistakes, we also carry other people's mistakes. So, thank you guys. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.